Right now, Chelsea is sitting just outside the top four in real life, teetering on the edge of greatness, but still searching for that spark. But here, in Football Manager, we're not here to watch Chelsea rebuild, we're here to lead it. This is a decade-long journey to bring Chelsea back to the top, back to Champions League glory, and to relive that fantastic 2020 season, when they lifted the big one in Porto. And hey, fun fact before we dive in, did you know Chelsea are the only London club to ever win the Champions League? Twice. So let's lock in for the next 10 years as we look at their new signings, some younger signings, create a good tactic and hopefully send Chelsea back to the top. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So then, up the Chelsea. I'm a United fan, I don't know if I should say that. But anyway, I do like Chelsea. I don't know what it is. I think it's because they've got so many good players, to be honest, that I think one day they're all just going to come together at the same time. And to be fair, they are having a decent season. But I will go over and say this right now. There is some improvement to do. And this is going to be a bit of a unique rebuild for me, because usually I get the money out early doors. But we're not going to do it in this rebuild because we've got so many players as it stands, as we are going to talk through in one moment. But as a club, incredible stadium, great reputation, great training, great youth recruitment. The owners love the club, they've got money, you've got everything going on. You have got everything at your disposal. It's all about putting it into use and actually gaining something from it. Now, in terms of a club, they've won a lot, but as you can see, that arrow is looking pretty grim at the moment. Things are looking down, but today we're going to change it. But let's just remember, 2 Champions Leagues, the only London club to win a Champions League. Is that going to change this year? You let me know in the comments. 6 Premier Leagues, 1 Club World Championship, 2 European Cups, 2 Europa Leagues, 2 UEFA Super Cups, 8 FA Cups, 5 Carabao Cups, 5 English Community Shields. We're a team that have got history. We're a big London club. Some say the best, some would say Arsenal. It's all sort of whatever you think. For me, they've won 2 Champions Leagues. I value Champions Leagues quite highly. Now, as a team, on paper, we have got some players, and I've decided to play this very weird sort of unorthodox tactic that is basically a 4-2-3-1. We've just got Jackson just a little bit to the right-hand side. Now, you can probably tell by the man on the thumbnail that you just clicked on, I've got one man that I want up front that I'm going to try and get this video. That is going to be big Victor Osimhen. So we're going to try and get that done. But what I will say right now is this team on paper, guys, let's not beat around the bush, okay? It is absolutely remarkable. Genuinely, it is really strong. So, you look at the goalkeeping options we've got. We have got the likes of Jorgensen. We've got, obviously, Bettinelli. We've got Sanchez. You've also got Petrovic and Kepa out on loan. Now, this is a really actual mixture of things, because it's also a bad thing, because we have got way too many goalkeepers. So, we're going to try and narrow that down to 2. So, we are going to make our decision over the next couple of years. Right backs, we have got 2 very good options. You've got Reece James, who, apart from being injured all the time in real life, which hopefully won't be an issue in this game, he's ridiculous in this game, okay? He is quick, has got good tackling, great crossing, and actually is one of the more pricey right backs you will ever find in Football Manager. So we're completely set, and the same is going to be said for Cucurella. Again, a player that got a lot of banter when he first joined Chelsea because he wasn't having a great time. As of recent, I think has been quite good. And do you know what? Again, maybe not as good as Reece James in terms of overall attributes, but very similar in the fact he's got a bit of pace about him. He's semi-decent at crossing. And again, there is no rush for me to go out and sign any wing-backs. We've got James, Cucurella. Of course, we also do have none other than Ben Chilwell, who obviously, at the moment, is going to be out on loan, but he is going to be coming back. We also have Gusto, who is a great right-back. Again, potentially one for the future. Depends on how many games he plays. Centre-backs, tons of options. Colwill, Fofana, Badiashile, Shabalala. I mean, we have got several players. I will be honest, I'm not a fan of Tosin. He never does that well for me in this game, so don't be surprised if he does get offloaded. You then go up to the midfield, okay? And this is where things get pretty tasty. You've got Caicedo, one of the most complete players at the age of 21 you are ever going to find in this game. An absolute joy to have. And to partner him, Fernandes, 22 years of age. We have got a world-class pairing here, and that is from Season 1. On the bench, you've got Lavia, you've got Shabalala, and obviously, I believe, also out on loan, you've got Vega. So you have got some pretty pretty decent players. As you go forward, you've got the man that was so hot at the start of the season, had a bit of a drop-off, but I'm sure will come back to full potential one day, Cole Palmer. He is going to be in my rebuild for the entire 10 years, unless he gets poached, because I really, really do like this guy. You've then got Nkunku. I do like my Leipzig players, and again, I will try and get the most out of him. A really, really strong player in this game. Jadon Sancho, I will not be signing. I really do not like his personality, so he will not be staying. And then, this is where it gets interesting, because Jackson is 50-50 for me in this game. He's 50-50 in real life. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with him, because, again, the only backup we've got is Fofana, out on loan. We've got João Felix and Broja, so we are going to have that decision to be made. Now, on top of this, we've got other players that we're not just going to sit here and ignore. You've got Madueke, you've got the likes of Lavia, fantastic DM in this game, Pedro Neto, Mudryk. Now, hear me out. I know he's not exactly perfect in real life, let's just put it that way. In this game, the guy can cook. Now, I will say, he will not be my first team left mid, I highly doubt ever. But if he is good as a backup option, I am going to keep him. Hopefully you understand. If you don't, I do apologise. Another player that I will give a shot to is going to be Big Dewsbury Hall. Now, he is going to have tough competition because he can actually get into any of these areas, but he's got to try and outplace Nkunku, Caicedo, Fernandes, Lavia. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff going on. The next man, Madueke, he will be given a chance. Now, I'm not going to lock him or Mudryk in because they're already good enough players to try and fight in the team. They're a Premier League division player, so they have to fight and prove themselves in this team. Now, in the first season, we are playing the three competitions, the Prem, the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup. And they are predicting a finish of around about 6th place, which I think is actually quite fair. However, I do think with this team, with my set pieces, and with this tactic. Now, this tactic I've never used before, so it could go one or two ways, but looking at how I think it's going to work, I basically want Nkunku because he's got great composure and finishing. I want him to almost run up into this channel, which he will do, and therefore it will actually be a 4-2-4. Because I don't fully back Jackson, so that's why I've done it, to explain my thinking. Again, at any part of this video you want to get my rebuild files, my tactics, all of these perks, you can come over and check out the Patreon. We are now running an exclusive 20% off deal, and also you've got 10 more days to enter the £900 PayPal giveaway, so make sure you come on over. But let's get stuck in and see what we can do in Season 1 with a brand new tactic and brand new challenge. Right then, we are off to Wembley in our first season, and it is going to be an injured Reece James going down the right-hand side, cutting in, cutting back, cutting in Reece James. Oh my word, what a strike. So that is not a bad way to start the season. A Reece James, I'm going to say wonder goal, cutting in, cutting out, lashing it into the bottom left-hand corner. That's why we kept you, Reece. That is why we've kept you. Sadly, the Carabao Cup doesn't go as smoothly as we actually get blitzed 4-0 by Brighton. So, I mean, that is quite the humbling. What isn't the humbling, we have won the Premier League in Season 1. Now, don't worry, because the big change here, or the big challenge here, is to try and win the Champions League and to try and win as many trophies as we can in the next 10 years. That is what makes these 10-year videos so special, because you never know what the end result's going to be. Now, we have done a really good job here. Nicholas Jackson, Cole Palmer, both with 40 combined, well, 38, but still incredibly strong between them. We've also got Reece James, our top assister, Cole Palmer and Reece James in the average rating, and also Nkunku in the most player of the matches, joint with Areola, Palmer and Bukayo Saka. I am nearly lost for words. We have done that well in Season 1. I mean, I know we've got a good team, but I was not expecting to do this in Season 1. And that puts us in a multiple areas of good places. Number 1, we've got a Premier League title under our belt already. Number 2, English Cup winners. The big one, Champions League qualification, more money, more potential, more opportunity, and hopefully more trophies. What a season to remember. This tactic clearly cooks. Now, what I do like about this tactic is the fact that we're not always reliant on Jackson. For example, Jackson's not even our top goal scorer. It's actually going to go to... Oh, I don't want to do the ice cold, but I'll do it. It's going to be ice cold Palmer. 25 and 13. 19 and 11 from Nkunku. Sancho had a stinky season. But to be fair, we can look at the backup options here on the bench. backup options. 11 and 6 from Madueke, Fofana 4 and 1, 8 and 10 from Neto, and Mudryk 9 and 9. So Jadon Sancho will not be a permanent Chelsea player. I am not going to spend a penny on him. We can also have a big shout out to Cucurella, 10 goal contributions. Reece James with 24. Fofana and Colwill, 12 goals between them. These set pieces are really something special. And I tell you what, the big conversation point for me here is, how did the loan out players, the loanee or the loaned out players do? Raheem Sterling, 4 and 4. Brozier, 2 goal contributions. Not great. 2 and 5 for Chilwell. Now, this man, I think I'm going to keep him for a couple of seasons. He's in contract for 3 years anyway, so I think I'm going to give him a couple more seasons. Just give him a shot, because I don't know why, but I actually quite like the guy, so I'm going to give him a chance. Disasi, four goals is not bad. Where did he go on loan to? Aston Villa, of course. We have got an array of centre-backs. João Felix, 4 and 1. Again, a player that I really like, but didn't really have a great season, although didn't even really play too many games, so that's always quite interesting. The story of this tale is we have got a lot of players coming back to the point where I don't actually think I'm going to make one signing. I genuinely don't, because we have spent so much money as a club over the past few years. I might try to go a minimum of 1 window, maybe 2 windows without signing a single player. Now, if you've watched my content before, you know I can say one thing and then go and spend 100 million. So how much money have we got in case? We have actually got around about 57 million, but I'm going to do my best not to spend a penny. One thing that I have been looking out for is this, because we have got some good potential players in here. We've got Amari, we've got Carney, we've got obviously Washington, we've got Dyer. We have got some pretty good players in here. Now, I'm going to keep them in here for a little bit longer to see how they grow. If they don't grow by a certain point, I will sell them. If they do grow, they'll come into the first team. So I am giving them a chance. I have not just ignored them, just to showcase that. In terms of contracts, what I'm doing is basically just the one positive about rebuilding this club is everyone's actually in relatively good contracts. You know, we've still got 2 years on our least, you know, our closest expiry. Jadon Sancho's going to be going anyway. Of course, he's just a player, man, who I really don't think is going to be part of my team. I don't really like him. So we can pretty much lock in, I think, for another season. Let's just get into it. Well, just to showcase it, we made no signings of our own. These are obviously pre-agreed deals. The first one is going to be Big Kendry coming in. He's going to stay in the under-21s for a season or 2, and then he will gain promotion to the first team, because this guy usually develops really well. And also Esteval, the same situation will happen to him. However, I'm going to say it, never works out in FM for me, so don't be surprised if you don't see too much of this guy. I will be honest, but just to showcase, no signings of my own, no outgoings. We're going right into Season 2. Some are going to like this decision, some aren't. Some might question the decision not to go and get Victor Osimhen right off the bat. I'm going to leave it a couple of seasons. Right then, we're in Munich for a Champions League final. Colwill into Sterling, into Cucurella, against Madrid, by the way. So no easy game. There's going to be 1 goal in the final, and it is going to the Big Blues. UCL winners. That is right, Champions League winners in Season 2. If you're a Chelsea fan, drop a like on the video now, or if you're any fan, drop a like on the video, because we are going to turn this club not only to the best team in Europe, but the best team the world has ever seen. We are off to a flying start in Season 2, because we are also going to match that with a Premier League title. Back-to-back Premier Leagues, which is absolutely remarkable. Liverpool now, twice runners-up. Cole Palmer, second top goal scorer. Jorgensen, second most clean sheets. This is what I like to see. Cucurella, top of the assist charts. This is more like it now. We are really playing as a team. And people that may have questioned my decision to stick with the same players, the reason why we have done it is because these players can now really have a chance to say, Josh, look, I am the real deal. You don't need to replace me. And I've given them a fair amount of time. So now we might introduce signings, but when we filter by our best 11, the team does look exactly like this. You can see there are now links starting to form. A very interesting one. Lavia gets in. which I did not expect. But we are seeing a nice link between James and Palmer, Mudryk and Cucurella, Jackson and Nkunku, Caicedo and Lavia, Colwill Fofana, and I mean, we're dropping some good stats here. We have got 30 assists combined wingbacks together. Incredible. 2 and 6 from Lavia, 2 and 6 from Caicedo. Palmer 25 and 9. Nkunku 18 and 15. That shadow striker really coming in. 13 and 6 for Mudryk, a pretty decent season. And Jackson with 24. 14 and 3 for Sterling, who is a player that I might consider selling if we can get anywhere near that price tag. But for a sort of comeback season, he has helped me out a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. Gusto 2 and 4. 2 and 5 coming in from Chilwell there. Fernandez 2 and 6 as well. Very interesting that all of our DM players got 2 and 6. That is a very unique set of circumstances. But a very, very good season based off player stats. And did we win anything else? We didn't, but we can't be too annoyed because we have won a Champions League and a Premier League. A 4th round exit here in 1-0 fashion in the FA Cup. Again against City. Again, a 1-goal deficit there, a 2-1 loss. And against Liverpool. So Liverpool finally get one up. But I mean, I've won a Champions League and a Premier League. I'm not going to sit here and complain. Money-wise, we've got 17, bit more than that actually. £84 million. Now, one thing I will say is, me not spending can only help this situation. So, I'm going to be honest with you. I am debating going in to one more season with no transfers. Now, we have got to be paying attention to Victor Osimhen because when he becomes available, he's recently had a move, I believe, to PSG in this game. Has he? He has. Now, at the moment, I will say he hasn't played every game for him in the season, and he might be obtainable, potentially, but if not, it's going to have to be the next season. What I will go over and say is, I am really enjoying just using the players that Chelsea have already provided because, as I said, it really sends out a statement to me. Like, now I know I don't need to rush out and sign any new wingbacks. I don't really need to rush out and sign any new right midfield player. And Jackson is still doing a decent job, so there is no immediate panic. So we can be patient until we can pay a good but fair price for Big Victor up front. Q Season 3. What a year. Then, so no signings for Season 3. One outgoing is going to be Donald going to Hull on the free. Again, not really a big loss. So that is now going to be another window with no signings, which hopefully is going to help our finances out. Now, I will go over and say, the first season of making those signings, or technically the second season, wasn't really a gamble. This one is a bit more of a gamble because maybe we won't retain the Premier League, for example, but this is how strong I feel about the Chelsea team. I think we've got enough in us to not sign for 3 years. And we clearly do in the Premier League at minimum because we have now won it 3 times in a row. When I come into this team, I knew what I had in front of me. There are big players in this team that just need to gel a little bit more, and that's exactly what we have done. Our goalkeeper in Jorgensen is really saying, Josh, I'm here, I'm the main goalkeeper. Sell the rest. He has been by far the best option. Cucurella, Reece James and Mudryk are going to be your top assisters. Cole Palmer, 4th most goals. What a season to remember. And in the Premier League, we seem untouchable. Over to the Community Shield. Now, this is going to be a trophy that I do want to win, just to win it in the video, sorry. Madueke into James, into Lavia, into Nkunku, and is that a back heel? That reminds me of the Thuram goal, if I'm not mistaken. I have never seen that before. The utter cheek from Nkunku. Cucurella down the left-hand side. Plenty of space. He is injured, though. Is it going to affect him? It's not, and it is going to be a 2-0 win. Other than that, we were sort of a runner-up team, as you can probably tell. Runners-up in the Carabao Cup, we lose on penalties against Liverpool. The FA Cup, we lose 2-0 against City in the final. The Super Cup, we lose 2-0 against Marseille. And the Champions League, we are going to bail in the semis on penalties. So that is 2 penalty shootouts lost and 3 cup finals we have lost. Now, if you just say, imagine, we win this, we win this, we win this. That is now going to be 5 trophies in one season. So this is without a single signing. We are already able to compete to win 5 trophies, and we're not far off getting to a Champions League final. So I mean, very interesting, by the way. Both of these actually went both on penalties. Has the final been played? It has, and it is going to be a PSG win. Fair game. But I mean, overall, what I will say, that is still a very, very strong season. And I imagine we're going to see very much of the same. We are. Everyone linking together well. 4 and 18, 5 and 21. I mean, this is ridiculous stats. 8 and 6 for Lavia, 4 and 11 for Caicedo, 32 and 8 for Palmer, and Kunku 28 and 11, 14 and 15 for Mudryk. Jackson, 40 goal contributions, 1 and 10 for Chilwell, 2 and 4 for Fernandes, Sterling 7 and 6, Madueke 10 and 5. I mean, seriously, a lot of players on the bench getting involved. The players that I am looking to offload, we are going to be honest now, does consist of Adarabioyo, potentially Shabalala, Neto, Sterling for the right money, despite having a good sort of substitute season. They're the names for now. Potentially João Felix, because the guy has got ridiculous value and isn't really offering much back in terms of stats. And we are now really going to look to spend some money. We've had 3 whole years without spending a penny of our own signings. Now, we have got a budget of 137 million. Now, this was to be expected. We have not spent a penny. We have won 3 Premier League titles. We've won a Champions League and other cups. The money is going to be there. The debts and loans have come down a ton since we have taken over. Obviously, a lot more than what maybe you would back home, because you might spend money on players. But genuinely, we have put ourselves in a good financial place. We know who our key players are, and now we can mould around them and hopefully go after the man on the thumbnail. Cue the next season. Right then, so outgoing number 1 is going to be Kepa. He is going to be going to Bournemouth. Of course, a goalkeeper that was on loan there anyway. He come back and I thought, you know what? For the sake of his career, for the sake of his future, you know, just let him go. Let him go to Bournemouth where he can be a first-team goalkeeper. He's never going to get a look in the Chelsea team anymore. So goodbye to Kepa. Also going to be looking to offload Aaron. Now, he's going to go to Everton for a total of £16 million. Again, a player that doesn't look necessarily bad, but simply will not get into the team. So we did decide to sell him to not only free up a little bit of wage, but also it's not bad business. I mean, he comes in for an undisputed fee he can't really even see. But £16 million is £16 million. Money, money, money. The Saudi have come in. The Saudi League, should I say. They've come in for 40 million. Now, the fact we have even actually recovered that sort of money is mental. We've not fully recovered it, but we've recovered most of what we have spent on a rapidly declining player. Trust me, he will decline at some rate. Now, he goes to Saudi. He absolutely cooks. There's no secret in that. He's actually earning 650k a week. So I can't compete with that. I wouldn't want to pay him that. And we've earned 40 million. So that funds more transfers. Signing 1 is going to be Victor Osimhen. Now, he is going to come in for a total of 45 million. He's actually playing less and less games for PSG as the years go on, and he was open to a move. Now, he scores 16 goals in his debut season for us, the most goals he has scored in the last 3 years. So, a very, very strong statement, a good average rating, a good assist in there as well. And I tell you what, this man, yes, he's 28, but he can lead the line for the next 4, if not 5 years. This guy in the game is absolutely nuts. He is quick, immaculate composure, great finishing, great heading, great off the ball work. He is genuinely the perfect man to lead the line. Because we had extra money come in, I've also reinvested back into the team with one of the better midfielders you can pick up, meaning our midfield lineup now, we have 4, I'm going to say it, world-class options. A leading Premier League player, Pavlovic, is going to come in for 84 million. Gets into the team right away, 2 goals, 4 assists, a great average rating, and we've now got Caicedo, Lavia, Fernandes, Pavlovic. The likes of Dewsbury Hall are probably going to be moved on now because this guy was available. But I mean, how about that for a midfield? We have welcomed in this man and also Victor. That is a ridiculous window. Surely, are we about to hit 4 out of 4 Premier Leagues? We could. And we do. Every season's been quite close, I will say that. But that is now going to be 4 Premier League titles back to back. Simply lovely. Absolutely incredible. And I tell you what, I'm going to say it. I think I'm correct. We have not got a single player, apart from Ben Chilwell in 4th place, in the average rating. Now, usually, that frustrates me. But when you win, and you're doing that, it could be one or two things here. We're scraping by, or we have got so many good players, there's not really one player getting all that much game time, so they can't really get in the top goal scorers because they've got constant rotation, which is what I'm trying to do today, is get everybody involved. So I think that is probably the more likely one of the two options. So for me, with 4-time back-to-back Premier League winners, we're doing something right. The FA Cup final against Sheffield Wednesday, so I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, I've got too much respect for that. It's going to be an easy final, and it starts off great. Reece James into the bottom left, again, a man who can get his goals, that has to be said. Cole Palmer is going to step up and absolutely lash it past Charles into the top left to go 2-0 up. We are now 75 minutes on the clock, into Palmer, into Jackson, and that might be one of the best first touches and finishes I have seen as of late. A great finish there. Pavlovic through into Palmer, goes through the back line and wraps up this final 4-0. A little bit lucky, but we'll take it. The Community Shield, we are going to win 4-2 over Man City, so that is always quite nice. And so far, we're just sat on the treble. Can we make it a quadruple? Well, that opportunity has sailed if we don't win the Champions League, because we have lost on penalties in the 4th round against Crystal Palace, which is quite disappointing because there's not too many rounds that we sort of played in. We get past Luton 4-2. We also get past... Where do we even play on here? Am I being blind? I think I could be being blind. I think we actually skip past that stage, don't we? So, I tell you what, our only win in the Carabao Cup was against Luton. That's not exactly something I want to keep saying too often. The Champions League, we don't win either. So it is just going to be a treble, which I say that like it's a bad thing. It is a treble. A round of 16 exit in the Champions League. And I'll put it bluntly, we got absolutely slaughtered. A 6-2 loss against Barcelona. So fair play to them. They're a team now that have got the likes of Hansi Flick still in charge. They have got Kolo Muani in the team. Glau, Yamal, Pedri, De Jong. Yeah, the team is looking nice. Looking pretty nice. Second place this season, by the way. So, still a very, very strong season. One that we can be proud of. And I mean, the Premier League, I am so proud of because we've got a 100% win rate in that competition. It's as simple as that. We are having such a good time. In terms of the tactics, Victor, 26 goals. Now, the nice thing about this is, Nicholas Jackson is also getting game time. 26-2 from Victor. Jackson 14-7. 25-11 for Palmer. Nkunku 18-8. Mudryk 10-7. Who I believe might actually be our first team left wing, alongside potentially of Madueke, who has got 8-9. Of course, no Raheem Sterling now. 4-10 for Cucurella. 6-15 for Reece James. And once again, we are now seeing a big issue coming in with the wanted sign. So Cucurella is going to be wanted by Manchester United. Nkunku by Saudi. That's worrying. Asimhem, I'm not worried about because we've just got him. Disasi is wanted by those teams. He can happily go. Broja, he can go. Shabalala, he could also go. Gusto isn't going to go 100%. And Madueke is asking to leave. I'll give him more money, the Chelsea way. We'll sort that one out. Don't you worry about that. So a very, very good season. A budget of 128 million going in. I mean, we can't complain. Still a little bit of work to do here, but I mean, we're now started the spending. We'll carry on. Let's get into season 5. Right then, so we've made one signing and had 0 outgoings. It is going to be Matty's Tell coming in. Now, the great thing about this man, before I show you the price tag, because he was a bit expensive, he's a model citizen, an elite striker, but not just a striker, because for us, I want him to play on the left-hand side. Now, he can cover striker, he can also cover the right-hand side. So you're getting a young, already well-developed person. You're getting someone with still potential, can play 3 positions, and has played already for 3 pretty big teams. Now, the downside to those positives, the price tag, 84 million. But to be fair, 12 goal contributions in his first season. And I'm going to say this right now. I am not expecting 20-30 goals from this man a season because he will be playing in 3 different areas. So he's not going to be locked in, for example. So this guy is going to be bounced around the front 3 and therefore might not always be 100% comfortable in the position. But he is going to have enough firepower to contribute big time to this team. Honestly, the Premier League is getting too easy. That is now going to be 5 times back-to-back, and we have blown the water out the park here. 96 points compared to 77 as Ipswich, Norwich and Burnley go down. A dominant Premier League season. Cole Palmer and Victor in the top goal scorers. Jorgensen the most clean sheets. Cucurella and Nkunku in the assists. I mean, genuinely, can someone compete with us in the Premier League? That is 5 titles from 2023 to 2028. I mean, genuinely, that is remarkable. We've had Liverpool runners-up twice, Tottenham twice, City in there as well. Nobody can compete. What a season. Another Champions League final and a game against Bayern. So we've got to show, of course, some history there. Caicedo into Pavlovic, into Reece James, goes through and is incredibly lucky that we are going to get the lead going inside of 15 minutes, which we cannot complain about. 17 minutes on the clock right now. Davies driving at the back line, somehow works his way through. Little touch there, and he's going to hit it, and it is going to be wow. Wow, 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 wow. What a strike that is to get back into the game. Fair play to Bayern as Cucurella trying to really send a statement. 33 minutes on the clock. Cucurella into Pavlovic, the new man, over the top into James. What a ball and what a finish. What a well-crafted goal from the London side. And surely we're not going to let it slip now. A ball in and Nkunku backstick, and that is going to be a statement from Pavlovic. Champions League winners again. We're also going to go over and lift the Community Shield 3-2 over Tottenham, making that now 3 times back-to-back. The Carabao Cup didn't go too smoothly as we lose in the 4th round to Burnley. But we still have a day out at Wembley in the FA Cup final against Bournemouth, and I tell you what, that is a great start from Nkunku. What a man, and what a finish. Mudryk obviously starting a lot of games for us now. Aarons, they're trying to play out from the back, and I tell you what, it doesn't work. An easy goal for Victor Osimhen, and that is going to be a 2-0 lead inside of 26 minutes. A set piece here, updated of course, and that is why, because they do stuff like that. A 3-0 advantage, and I tell you what, another set piece. I mean, honestly, talk about promotion. Incredible. What a set of routines. That is going to finalise a quadruple winning season. Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, Community Shield. We're throwing that in there. A quadruple winning season in season 5. 5 years we're pulling that out the bag. Come on. Come on. I mean, genuinely, what a time to be alive for a Blues fan, right? Absolutely incredible. Money-wise, we are going to have 146 million to spend. The debts and loans are still coming down, which is really good to see. And we now can look at this team and actually, well, I mean, there's always room to improve, I will say, but we've got to be precise where we improve because the players are doing such a good job. 52 goals from Victor Osimhen this season, by the way. 22 and 16 for Mudryk, remarkable. We've got 22 and 22 for Nkunku. Palmer with 26 and 20. You know, these aren't rookie numbers, guys. This is 46 goal contributions from Palmer. 44 for Nkunku. Do you know what I mean? These are serious stat lines. Even the bench players. By the way, let's just realistically look at this, okay? Wingbacks, 8 and 24. 8 and 17. No wonder why we're dominating the league. We have got this going on. Remarkable. 9 and 8 for Jackson. Gusto 3 and 9. 13 and 5 for Tell. Let's not forget about that man right there. I mean, genuinely, the bench, the first team, they're all doing so well. So we have to really be precise at where we spend this money. And the way that I'm going to do that is actually by contract expiries. And we're going to decide who we're going to keep. So we're going to worry from 2009 upwards. Nkunku, contract. Disasi, sell. Dewsbury Hall, sell. Shabalala, sell. Fofana, sell. Broja, sell. Tosin, sell. A lot of sales going on, a lot of sales, a lot of money coming back in. Now, when I say sell, that means that I will literally go on to these players right now, just to show you what I actually do for the videos, go to transfer, and as you can see, transfer listed, I will do that. I'll also go to transfer and also go to the options and accept the transfer offers, because I would rather get half of their value than nothing. Simple as that. So these players will be getting sold. If I can't sell them, for example, somebody like all of them have got quite a lot of value, to be fair. So if I can't sell them, I'll almost be forced to give them a contract because I don't really want them going on the free. Obviously, the one downside to doing this as a strategy is that you run the risk of them getting already pre-contract deals. So that is the only risk with this way of doing it. But I'm confident, man. I mean, genuinely, we're doing God's work. We're doing such a good job. And if you are enjoying, please do leave a like. But let's cue season 6, where I'm sure the transfer window, it's going to be active. Right then, signing number 1 is just going to be a signing for the future, and a signing that we can also play now. That is going to be Bart Verbruggen. Now, our goalkeeper was doing very, very well, but this guy is on another scale. He's on another level. As you can see, 17 clean sheets in 31 games. Drops above a 7 average rating, and I tell you what, he feels like a realistic signing, because if Chelsea do have goalkeeper issues at all, this man might consider a Chelsea move. So I think for realism, for how good he is, and for the fact of, don't get me wrong, 50 million's 50 million, but I've paid a lot more in the past. And because we are now open to letting centre-backs go, we are going to bring in another one, a younger one, a better one, Scalvini. Coming in from Atalanta for 75 million, only plays 9 games, so he is still fighting for his first team position. But if there's a man who I bet on fighting, it's this guy. He always comes up trumps eventually, and when I can get him, I'll get him. So it's a pretty hefty transfer window, 125 million. We've also got some players going out on the free. You can see Tosin going out on the free here to Damak. We have got Petrovic going out on loan. We've also got Alex Parley going out to Arsenal for £8.7 million. Other than that, a lot of loanee players, nothing really too much to talk about. So pretty reserved, but 2 big additions. Welcome to Stamford Bridge. So, Chelsea fans, hopefully you're enjoying. Right, we might need to be investigated. We are genuinely 6-time Premier League winners back-to-back. We are being so flawless in this competition. And I tell you what, I feel bad for Tottenham. They've been runners-up 3 times now, back-to-back seasons. What are they cooking over at Tottenham? No manager. That's harsh on their manager. They've got a very, very good team. Wow, fair play to them. I mean, fair play. Victor Osimhen, 28 goals. Cole Palmer, 22, sorry. Remarkable. Verbruggen steps in, no pressure. As Cole Palmer says, pressures for tyres. Most clean sheets. Our wing-backs, just a 33 assists combined, and 4 plays in the average rating. The Premier League is now becoming almost, expected. Pretty remarkable stuff. We've won the Champions League again against Tottenham. They cannot catch a break against us. I mean, genuinely, that is so harsh on them. We are now going to be 3-time Champions League winners. I mean, it's absolutely incredible what we're doing in this rebuild. What a way. We're 6 seasons in. We've still got 4 years. And judging by what I'm seeing, we win so many more things. The Super Cup, 3-1 over Arsenal. The FA Cup, 2-0 over Leeds. The Carabao Cup, 4-0 over Man City. The only thing we don't win is the Community Shield, 1-0. There you go, Tottenham. They can have the Community Shield. We win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trophies in season 6 in the year of 2029. This trophy cabinet is going to need expanding. The arrow is now maxed up. Look at that. It went from down here to up here. Talk about an incline, and now we can't literally improve. We are genuinely, well, we have to be the best team in the world at the moment. What a time to be a Chelsea fan. What a time. And it comes down to a couple of things. Remarkable tactic, remarkable players. What is very interesting is Scalvini was not locked in, by the way. I just added him in to show you what we might do for the next season. I'm considering locking in these 2 for the next season to really make sure Tell keeps developing. He did have a good season here, to be fair, with 27 goal contributions, so pretty decent right there. But the first team looks like this, so Mudryk gets back in, and for justified reason. I mean, he plays well. 18 and 16. 15 and 9 from Nkunku, Palmer 34 and 12, Caicedo 13 and 13. The wing backs, oh my. This reminds me of the Xabi Alonso part of the last rebuild. They're simply sensational. 5 and 28, 5 and 22, 42 goals for Osimhen. They're always going to be there though. Jackson with 24. We have got, what is that, 66 goals from 2 strikers. I mean, it's going to happen though, because our wingers are assistant, our wing-backs are assistant. Matisse Tell's getting goals as well. I mean, genuinely, this is where it gets interesting, because where do I want to keep improving the team, but realistically, all we can do is look at the players that are getting older, I think, and maybe start to prepare for the next sort of generation. So, Chilwell, potentially offload. Nkunku's still only 31, so we've got a couple of seasons out with him before we maybe get a replacement. Sanchez can go, Disasi can go, Cucurella is not going, Dewsbury Hall can go, Victor is not going, Shabalala can go, Petrovic is actually permanently going. He is going to West Ham on the permanent. Felix can go, Neto can go, Badiashile can go. Other than that, Fofana can go. Anyone else? Vega can go. Estevao and Paez, not doing the most. They can both go, to be honest. So, I mean, there are a lot of players we can still sell, and we can overall, I'm going to be honest, by season 10, we might have the perfect team. Let's cue season 7, because we've got a lot to live up to now. Right. You talk about business in Football Manager. Look at this for some money, okay? 49 million we got for Petrovic. Now, he plays hardly any games for us. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to sit here and say he didn't exactly do well at West Ham. He conceded 74 goals in 35 games. But they give me 49 million. There is not a single world where I say no to that. Again, think of business. Vega, not getting game time. He is going to be sold for £40 million. That is going to be a ridiculous amount of profit for a player that we didn't even play. That is incredible business. We are also going to offload Robert Sanchez. So these players that I was worried that are going to go on the free, we actually are recovering money. Now, we do lose a bit of money on Sanchez, but look back to the previous 2 sales. We have profited a ton of money. So this little hit of a loss of about 10 million, it's minor. Barcelona fans, look away right now just for 30 seconds to a minute, because you're not going to like this. I love Barcelona. I love their players. I've gone in for Gavi, and we have paid 85 million. 29 appearances, 3 assists, drops a 7 average rating. Is it great? No. Am I happy to have him? Yes, because this man is one of the most hard-working, aggressive, almost pit bull players in that midfield. He can also play deep, central and attacking. He is genuinely a manager's dream. And yeah, if you're a Barcelona fan, look away again. We're going to go for the Barcelona duo, completely wiping them out. We have got Pedri. Now, he set me back a bit more, 150 million. But when you're dropping stats like that, 17 goals and 9 assists, I'm not going to complain. He is, 4 years younger than Nkunku, so he might get a bit more of the long run look in. But him and Gavi, I mean, honestly, how I pulled this off, I don't know. Well, I do know. Limited spending for 3 years, selling players for ridiculous money, and then reinvesting the money smartly. Now, we have got an elite attacking midfield player, who, by the way, is valued at £250 million right now, a sensational player, and we have welcomed in the Spanish Barcelona duo. That deserves some feedback, that does. Come on, let me know in the comments. What are we rating that window? Come on. Right. Premier League time again, Premier League victory again. Let's make it now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times back to back. We cannot be touched. If we go 10 for 10, this tactic's getting a dedicated video. It is getting a dedicated video because I've never seen anything like it. Cole Palmer, Victor Osimhen, your top goal scorers. Verbruggen, the most clean sheets. Reece James and Mudryk are going to be your top assisters, and even with Man City signing Vinicius Jr. cannot beat us to a Premier League title. They have now got Ange in charge, and their team looks like this: Nunes, Pino, Haaland, Silva, Lapani, Rodri, Sangante, Akanji, Ake, Gvardiol, great goalkeeping choice, Ibanez, Torres out on loaned in actually, Vinicius, Muric, Foden. Yeah, they had a bit of a switch up, but the team is still looking absolutely mega. But it wasn't enough to beat us to a Premier League title. Do we win anything else? A couple of things. The FA Cup, we are going to win 4-0 over Newcastle. I will take that. And the Community Shield, we are going to win 5-2 over Tottenham. Now, the Champions League, we can't actually see. So we'll go on the calendar and look at that. The Carabao Cup didn't go too well, a penalty loss. The Champions League, well, we have won the final. I've never shown it like that before, but that's an added bonus, isn't it? Who did we get through then? Let's actually go into the competition. We can't. That is always the annoying thing about this game. We do get past PSG quite comfortably. Is that going to be... Oh, Tottenham as well. They get a beating. Then it is going to be RB Leipzig, I believe, in the round. Yeah, it is. I mean, we had a fairly difficult run-in, but we got the job done, and we beat Madrid 2-0 in the final. So, Premier League, Champions League, it's another quadruple. Another quadruple. Now, money-wise, that's going to do well. 117 million. The debts and loans are now basically clear. We have cleared Chelsea's debt, won them endless trophies, built one of the best teams in the game. What haven't we done? I mean, we're doing such a great job here. Now, these are the players that were locked in. Verbruggen, Scalvini, Tell and Pedri. Pedri, 24 and 17. Tell, 20 and 9. The best 11... Pedri goes on to the right. Okay. Palmer through the middle. So you got Asimhem 44 and 9, Mudryk 15 and 22, Palmer 49 and 6, 24 and 17 for Pedri, Caicedo 15 and 20. We've got 4 and 20 for Cucurella, James 5 and 28, 9 and 10 for Pavlovic, 20 and 9 for Tell, and even Felix, the man that's on loan at Roma that I hope, by him, enjoyed a good season. And so did the other backup players. Yeah, this is almost going too well. And I am now honestly confused where we spend the money, because we're the best at scoring, we're the best at defending. Where do we look? I think the answer for the future, once again. Right, I'll be honest, he literally got hardly any of a look into the team because he wasn't good enough. We are going to sell Pedro Neto to the Saudi League for 13.5 million. He played a few games at the first couple of seasons, but as there's been better players come in, he's not kept up, so better to cash in and get some money back than lose all of it. And just one signing and one for the future, and another Spanish player. A lot of Spanish players in this team now. It's going to be our first regen. They usually start to become quite good around this stage of the game, 2030/31. We are going to welcome in Josemar. Josemar? I'm not sure. We are going to welcome in, I'm going to call him Josemar. We're going to call him that. He comes in, 23 years of age, and what you get here is a very, very complete player. His weakness is probably on the ball. The dribbling, not great, but to be honest with you, just to come in, he can somewhat pass. He's got great tackling, great positioning, decent heading. He's quick, good balance, good jumping reach. The only thing that I'm going to work with him on is the technical side a little bit. But for a price tag of 54 million, for the future, I'm not going to complain. Then we are off to Amsterdam for another Champions League final against Madrid again. This could be a chance for revenge, and Pedri is clearly not going to give him that chance. Of course, the former Barcelona man is going to make it 1-0 in 35 minutes. Fofana playing out from the back now. Plenty of time on the ball. Into Caicedo, into Pavlovic. No! Pavlovic, and that... Yeah, I mean, it's one incredible finish, but Pavlovic, what are you doing? They are going to tie up the game, but luckily, we are the Blues. We are the mighty Blues. We are a team that do not sit back and accept it. Reece James into Jackson through one-on-one, back-to-back Champions League winners, both against Madrid. We also are going to lift the Super Cup 2-1 over Manchester City. The FA Cup didn't go as well. A 2-1 loss against Tottenham in the 5th round. At this point, I almost don't care because we seem to win so many other trophies anyway. Or will we? As we lose to Sheffield United in the quarters of the Carabao Cup. I know I said I don't care, but let's not take the mick here. We also lose on penalties to City in the Community Shield, which means so far we have won 1 trophy. Are we going to win the Premier League again? Have we? Bang. Okay, right. So it's actually 3 trophies, isn't it? I forgot about the Super Cup. 3 trophies. The Premier League, we have now won 8 times back-to-back. And again, this team is anywhere near us. Brozier, by the way, went to Ipswich Town and enjoyed a great season, so fair play to them. They actually had a good year coming back in 13th place. Victor Osimhen, 32 goals. Cole Palmer, 23. Verbruggen, ever since he's been a Chelsea player, has had the most clean sheets. We've got Cole Palmer and Cucurella in the assist category. I mean, the Premier League is meant to be the hardest league in the world. But apparently, for us, it's the easiest. And I am slowly debating if we're going to win 10 out of 10 here. It's becoming more and more realistic. And I mean, when you look at the grand picture, this is still a very, very strong season. UCL, Premier League, I mean, come on. It's not half bad. Now, in terms of money, it's going to keep coming in, sorry. A bit ill, I do apologise. Because we're winning trophies. So we are going to have a total of 170 million. The debts and loans are still somewhat there now, I will be honest, because we did spend a little bit, but we're in still a complete fine situation. The team is looking better than ever, apart from a couple of injuries. 2 to 4 weeks there for Pedri, and Palmer 3 to 7 days. Apart from that, we are looking okay. The stats are looking very, very similar. The bad side now, we have got most of our team wanted. So, Asimhem wanted by Barcelona in the Saudi League, Mudryk by the Saudi League, we have got Gavi by Arsenal, Cucurella by Madrid, Scalvini, Man City, Fofana, Atletico, and also Saudi, Jorgensen, Brighton and Everton, Jackson, Saudi, Fernandez, Man City and Saudi. Felix is wanted. Let's get rid of him. He is wanted by Saudi. End of contract. And he's gone. He is going to be going on the free. So that is Felix gone. Disasi, wanted by the Saudi League. Drewsbury, no. Shaballah, wanted by a load of teams. Paez, well, wanted by Bristol. We can do some business here. So do stay locked in, because Season 9 is going to be active in the window. Let's get into it. Right then, so the first outgoing is going to be a freebie. It is going to be Drewsbury Hall. Now, he's a player that I actually did quite like, but he didn't really ever get into the first team. So instead of paying his wages, the Saudi League can. Disasi is finally going to be sold. Now, again, a player that didn't really play too many games. We spent 38 million on him, which I think is quite a bit too much to pay. We only recover 11.5 million. And he doesn't even start every game for Al Sadd. Sign-in 1 is going to be Kevin McGill, coming in from, I believe, Bayern for 99 million. 13 goals, 2 assists, 1 player of the match. This guy is going to be my dream, because he can play on the left. He can also cover shadow striker, which is helpful. And if I ever need him to play as a deep line playmaker, anything like that, he can also do that. He's 23, already classed as world class. Yes, he's on a lot of money per week. Yes, he cost me a lot to get here. But look at him. He is going to be a big part of my future and your future if you carry on the save. Welcome in to probably the best Scottish player that is around at the moment. We're also going to welcome in Kai Jana Butter, coming in from Borussia Dortmund for 55 million, only 1 appearance and 1 goal. So technically, he scores every game he plays in. Now, he has come in as a backup striker and 1 for the future. A couple of things got me sort of to decide to go for this guy, okay? He's 24, a bit younger, perfectionist, always a big thumbs up for any FM players out there. Great dribbling, great finishing, great composure, good off the ball work, good technique, remarkably good leadership for a young man, also quite quick, great agility, you know, several different positives. So I thought, you know what, we'll make it happen. And lastly, planning for the future, we popped a release clause from the Brazilian League of 15 million for Carlos. 5 appearances and also 2 assists. So this is a man that's not ready to get every sort of game under his belt. He is a backup player for now, and one day can get more and more game time. For example, when Nkunku does get moved on when he gets older, he can then rotate with Pedri and Gavi and those sorts of candidates. He is a very sort of decent player at the moment, but of course has got tons of growth. So we have really spent big here on improving our future. And we are going to win the Premier League again, meaning if we do it next season, we have won 10 out of 10 Premier Leagues, which is a record breaker for me. It's a clear record breaker. I have not done that. Even when I've done Man City rebuilds, I have not done that. So this Chelsea team technically would be the best team I've built in England. Technically, based off that, it would be. Now, this is coming down for so many mixture of things that are causing this. So we have got a world-class goalkeeper that, again, has got the most clean sheets. We have got wing-backs that are assisting like some of the best wingers in the world. We have got goal scorers. We've got Palmer. We've got Victor. They never let me down. We have got potentially the most complete team in the Premier League. In fact, I'm not going to say potentially. We have. The Champions League is still decent, but not as smoothly. But again, we've won it like 5 times. Real Madrid are going to beat us 4-2. And who went on to win the final? We don't know yet, but that is one stacked final. Fair game. Question is, are we going to win anything else? Oh, yeah. I'll have a bit of that. The Super Cup, we are going to win 7-1 over Brighton. The Community Shield, 4-1 over Leeds. The FA Cup, we are going to win 5-2 over Man City. And the Carabao Cup, just the one over Liverpool. But that is going to be 5 trophies in Season 9. And we go into Season 10 now with, I'm going to say it, a bit of pressure. Because how heartbreaking would it be to not complete the 10 out of 10 run? So I'm going to go for it, let me tell you that. Now, money-wise, we've got a budget of £153 million. The debts and loans are still somewhat there. So again, we are only going to sign for the future, not really for the current, I highly doubt. And looking at the team, I mean, I can't fault a single player in the team, so I'm not going to spend too much time because these stats have now almost become what we expect. This is the norm now for this team. I know that's mental, but this is genuinely what we expect. 19 assists from Reece James. Can we just give a shout out, by the way, to this man? He's 33 now, so he is getting a little bit older, but what a player he has been for this team. Seriously, seriously underappreciated. The same can be said for Reece James. I mean, what a run. Let's cue the last season of transfers. Mate, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Right, I've gone big. I've gone big. I'm sorry, I've gone big for the last season because I want to complete a 10 out of 10 trophy record in the Premier League. I want to do it. We have picked up Richard Ricard. He is going to come in from Barcelona for a grand total of 116 million. Now, he is not going to play every game for now, but the one thing in our team is our attacking players in some areas are getting older. So this is also a signing for you guys back home because you are going to need players for the future. And this guy plays a big part of that happening. Now, he's not the only signing, okay? Because we also go over and sign Diego, coming in for a grand total of 55 million. 26 appearances, 7 goal contributions. He comes in from Valencia as a great DM option, and he looks absolutely sensational. The one thing that I'm going to work with him on, his passing. That definitely can improve a little bit. But for now, he already looks an absolute tank. And lastly, to finalise it, we are going to welcome in Jan Combs. Coombs, don't know how to say that. We're going to call him Big Jan. He's going to come in as a left back. And this is because Cucurella is getting older, okay? He is getting older. £50 million, 10 assists, 5 player of the matches, a great average rating. And again, can play centre-back as well. He's young, good potential on him. Rapid, good tackling, good crossing. He's a perfect left back. And I look at Cucurella and I'm like, you've done so much for, he's done so much for us as a club. He is getting older. His time is slowly coming to an end. And I want to spend big to not lose anything that he provided. So, do you know what? Respect to Cucurella. That's all I'm going to say. But that is going to complete our last transfer window. And the question that I want to know, and you probably want to know, is can we win 10 Premier League titles back-to-back? Firstly, off to Baku for a Champions League final, which we are going to take the lead inside of 2 minutes. Man City then go down to 10 men, with Ruben Diaz being sent off. Pedri into James, a ball inside the box, back stick, and the new man, McGill, obviously from last season, is going to make it 2-0 inside of 21 minutes. And we are going to go again. A 3-0 advantage coming in very shortly. Pedri into James, an awful challenge there, back into Pedri, and that is going to be a 3-0 advantage within 23 minutes. And it gets better. We go on to win the last Champions League final of the video in staggering 4-0 fashion with none other than Nkunku. We are also going to lift the Community Shield 4-1 over Man City. Off to Wembley for an FA Cup final against Man City, and it is going to be the new man coming in and making us 1-0 up already inside of 8 minutes. We are genuinely so comfortable against any team, it seems. Caicedo out wide into the new left back. A great ball in, driven inside, and Mudryk still going strong is going to make it 2-0 in 71 minutes. And we don't stop there. Around about 3 minutes after, Cole Palmer sticks in a penalty, and this game should have been done. But, however good we are, Man City still have Haaland, and that looked offside, that goal, I'll be honest with you, but it wasn't. Leonardo is going to make it 3-1, and this is where things get a little bit shaky, because They then go and score a few minutes after with what can only be described as an incredible goal here from Erling Haaland. But sadly for them, that's all they got. We are still going to win. We also lift the Carabao Cup 3-1 over Wolves. This has been a pretty decent season. We win the Premier League back to... I'm not going to do that all the time, back to back. But we have won it 10 times in a row. Every season, we have won the Premier League. So that does mean Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Community Shield. But seriously, guys, the Premier League is ours 10 times in a row. Now, I'm going to be honest. After season 6, I would say, maybe season 5, our team was only improving. So the chances went up of us doing this. But to do it 10 times in a row and win other trophies is nothing short of a miracle. And this trophy cabinet now will actually need expanding big time. We are now a perfect team, the perfect club. We have won so many trophies, it is unbelievable. We have done such a good job that the Premier League is now a one-horse race. As simple as that. And money-wise, 214 million if you want to carry on back home. The debts and loans are there, but again, you can easily do what I done and have a season or two with no signings. You have been left with such a good team. Such a good team, it is nuts. The best team on paper at the end is going to be Verbruggen, James, Fofana, Jose. We have got the likes of, I don't want to butcher this name, Jan. We have got Law. We've got Caicedo, Pedri, Palmer, McGill, Osimhen. We have left a sensational team on paper. Yes, Osimhen, however you say it, he is 34. But let's look at your rotation. Goalkeeper, Jorgensen as backup. Reece James, Gusto, that's completely fine for a couple of seasons. Centre-backs, Hosema, Fofana, Scalvini, you've got Colwell, you've still got Shabalala and Badiashile, who you can sell for money. Left back, you got this man, you've still got Cucurella, you've got Colwell who can play there. Midfield, Law, Caicedo, Gavi, Pavlovic, Fernandez, Lavia. They're the options. Wingers, McGill, Pedri, Gavi, Butter, Tell, Mudryk, Jackson, Madueke, Palmer. In the midfield, attacking, Palmer, Gavi, Jackson, Fernandez. Up front, Butter, Tell, Jackson, Osimhen. You have got a ridiculous team with a ridiculous tactic that has won it 10 times back to back. That is going to be Chelsea rebuilt. Simple as that. Hopefully you've enjoyed, because that is a very good rebuild. I'll be seeing you in the next one. Again, if you want to grab the tactic and the rebuild file, you can go over to the Patreon, where there is currently 20% off. So if you do want to get it, make sure you go now. I will see you in the next one.